Behind those award-winning cinematic moments and perfect smiles, some of Hollywood's brightest stars fought private battles with addiction that changed their silver screen careers forever. What dark secrets were the studios desperate to hide? Marilyn Monroe's increasing dependence on sleeping pills and barbiturates progressively compromised her professional reliability. Her once brilliant career began to unravel as her mental health struggles made her difficult to work with, causing delays, on-set tensions, and eventually making her virtually uninsurable in the cutthroat studio system. Her legendary difficulties during The Misfits and Something's Got to Give revealed an actress losing her battle with substance dependency. Directors noted her increasing inability to remember lines, with shooting schedules extended to accommodate her fragile state. Behind her iconic image lay a woman medicating herself against exploitation and profound insecurity. Grace Kelly's reported drinking coincided with her strategic exit from Hollywood, choosing royalty over continued film stardom. Her addiction became a footnote in a carefully managed professional transition. Behind the fairy tale narrative of the actress who became a princess lay reports of a woman using alcohol to cope with the pressures of royal life. Her brief but brilliant film career remained untarnished by her later struggles, with her cinematic legacy preserved by her early retirement from the profession that might have eventually exposed her vulnerabilities. Despite his drinking, Frank Sinatra managed to reinvent himself multiple times, using his musical talent to overcome professional setbacks caused by his volatile behavior. His alcohol use occasionally threatened his career, but his extraordinary talent and charisma often allowed him to navigate Hollywood's treacherous waters. His Oscar-winning performance in From Here to Eternity marked a comeback from career lows, partly triggered by his turbulent personal life and drinking. Sinatra's professional resilience became legendary as he balanced moments of brilliance with notorious alcohol-fueled outbursts that tested even his most loyal collaborators. Rita Hayworth's alcoholism accelerated her professional decline, with studios gradually reducing her roles as her reliability diminished. The same glamorous star who once captivated audiences found herself increasingly marginalized, her addiction becoming a silent career killer. By the mid-1950s, her drinking affected her iconic beauty and professional reputation. Directors reported struggles with memory and concentration, while younger actresses claimed her starring roles. Columbia Pictures, which had built her image as the love goddess, gradually relegated her to supporting parts as her addiction made her a liability rather than an asset. Lana Turner's personal tragedies and drinking patterns made her increasingly challenging to cast, with Hollywood's changing landscape offering less tolerance for her tumultuous personal life. Her career became defined as much by scandal as by her acting talent. The notorious stabbing of her lover by her daughter triggered a spiral of drinking that compromised her professional reliability. Studio executives, once eager to capitalize on her sweater girl image, became hesitant to invest in productions featuring an actress whose personal demons threatened shooting schedules and publicity plans. Joan Crawford's rumored substance abuse contributed to her gradual professional marginalization, with younger actresses increasingly displacing her in significant roles. Her drinking became part of a broader narrative of a star struggling to maintain relevance. Her legendary status as a perfectionist masked increasing dependency on alcohol and prescription medications, particularly as roles became scarcer. Her famous feud with Bette Davis during Whatever Happened to Baby Jane was reportedly intensified by Crawford's drinking, creating tension that affected production but ultimately resulted in one of her most memorable later performances. Ingrid Bergman's reported alcohol struggles occurred alongside professional challenges, including her controversial personal life. Yet, her extraordinary talent allowed her to rebuild her career multiple times, transcending personal and professional obstacles. Her exile from Hollywood following her affair with Roberto Rossellini coincided with periods of reported heavy drinking, yet she maintained enough professional discipline to create landmark performances in European cinema. Her eventual triumphant return to Hollywood demonstrated a resilience that distinguished her from peers whose careers were permanently derailed by similar personal struggles. Gary Cooper's substance use began to impact his once impeccable reputation, gradually reducing the heroic roles that had defined his career. The strong, stoic image he had cultivated became increasingly difficult to maintain as his personal struggles became more apparent. His struggles with depression and alcohol remained largely hidden from the public, but were evident to colleagues who noted his increasing withdrawal and unreliability during his later films. The disconnect between his all-American hero image and his private pain created an unsustainable professional tension that subtly diminished his standing as Hollywood's quintessential strong, silent type. Elizabeth Taylor's addictions to alcohol and painkillers threatened her career multiple times, yet her extraordinary talent and star power allowed her repeated professional resurrections. She transformed personal struggles into a narrative of resilience. Her well-publicized treatment for substance abuse in the 1980s marked one of Hollywood's first open acknowledgments of addiction among its elite. Throughout her career, Taylor's ability to deliver powerful performances despite her substance struggles cemented her legendary status, even as producers sometimes hesitated to work with an actress whose reliability was compromised by her dependencies. Bing Crosby's drinking never fully derailed his multifaceted career, though it created tension behind the scenes. His professional adaptability, spanning music, radio, and film, allowed him to maintain his status, even as personal struggles simmered beneath his polished public image. His perfectionism and relentless work ethic masked a complex relationship with alcohol that affected his family relationships more than his public persona. Colleagues noted his increased irritability during filming when unable to drink, yet his enduring popularity as America's crooner remained largely untarnished by his private battles. Clara Bow's alcoholism and depression directly contributed to her premature exit from Hollywood, with the emerging sound era and her personal struggles effectively ending her once luminous career. The pressures of stardom became too overwhelming to sustain. Her legendary status as the original It Girl crumbled under the weight of scandal, substance abuse, and mental health challenges that the early Hollywood system was ill-equipped to address. Her transition from silent film stardom to complete industry exile represents one of Hollywood's most dramatic falls, accelerated by drinking that made her increasingly unpredictable on set and ultimately unemployable. Vivien Leigh's bipolar disorder and alcoholism made her increasingly difficult to cast, despite her extraordinary talent. Her remarkable performances became punctuated by periods of instability, causing directors and producers to view her as a professional risk. Her work in A Streetcar Named Desire revealed both her genius and her fragility, with her portrayal of Blanche Dubois eerily mirroring her own struggles. Production schedules became unpredictable as her mental health fluctuated, with filming often delayed when her drinking spiraled. Her deteriorating reliability gradually diminished the opportunities offered by studios, despite her unquestionable brilliance. Bette Davis used alcohol as a weapon of defiance against studio constraints, her drinking paradoxically becoming part of her legendary tough girl persona. While it occasionally threatened her career, her extraordinary talent often overshadowed her personal struggles. Her famous conflicts with Warner Brothers were fueled partly by liquid courage as she fought for better roles and working conditions. Despite her sometimes difficult behavior on set, Davis maintained her professional standing through sheer force of talent and determination, turning her combative reputation into an asset rather than a liability. The 1956 car accident not only scarred Montgomery Clift physically, but professionally derailed his career. His subsequent addiction to alcohol and painkillers made him increasingly unreliable, transforming him from a sought-after leading man to an actor studios viewed as a high-risk, unpredictable talent. His haunting performance in Judgment at Nuremberg showed flashes of his former brilliance, but producers grew wary of his extended absences and unpredictable behavior. The striking contrast between his early work in Red River and his later pain-shadowed performances reveals addiction's toll on one of Hollywood's most sensitive actors. Judy Garland's addiction began with studio-prescribed amphetamines designed to keep her working grueling schedules, ultimately destroying her career trajectory. These pills controlled her weight and energy, but systematically undermined her health. leading to unreliability that transformed her from Hollywood's golden girl to a risky professional investment. MGM's ruthless demands for perfection drove her to pills at just 16, creating a dependency that would haunt her through failed comebacks, canceled performances, and a heartbreaking struggle to reclaim her talent. Her brilliance in A Star is Born briefly revitalized her standing, but the damage was irreparable.